With the new version of Dune now playing in theaters and on HBO Max, expect a review of it this weekend. Let's talk about the original Dune from 1984, directed by David Lynch. Does it still really deserve the hate it got long ago? Or can I bring this film to justice? Watch this review and you'll find out. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Dourif, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 1984 epic sci-fi flick Dune, released by Universal for Dino De Laurentiis Corporation, directed by David Lynch, starring Kyle McLachlan in his film debut, along with an all-star cast that includes Patrick Stewart, Brad Dourif, Dean Stockwell, Virginia Madsen, Jose Ferer, Sting, Linda Hunt, and the late Max von Sydow, and a host of others. The film is, of course, based on the Frank Herbert novel of the same name that came out in 1965. Anyway, of course, the film set in the distant future. It chronicles the conflict between rival noble families as they battle for control of the extremely harsh desert planet Arrakis, also known as Dune. The planet is the only source of the drug spice, which allows prescience and is vital to space travel, make it the most essential and valuable commodity in the universe. Yep. So anyway, let's get into the story. In the far future, the known universe is ruled by sorry, I mispronounced. Pasha Emperor Shaddam IV. Yeah, there, I got it, sorry. The most valuable substance in the Empire is the spice, a drug that extends life and expands consciousness. The spice also allows the Spacing Guild to fold space, permitting safe, instantaneous interstellar travel. The Guild fears a conspiracy that could jeopardize spice production. I thought I said space, my bad. But it's spice production. Bear with me, everyone. And sends a missionary to demand an explanation from the Emperor, who reveals his scheme to destroy House Atreides. The Emperor fears Duke Leo Atreides' growing popularity and a secret army he is reportedly amassing threaten his rule. He plans to cede control of planet Arrakis, the universe's only source of spice, to House Atreides. Once they are installed there, the Atreides will be ambushed by our arch enemies, the Harkonnens, with the help from the Emperor's elite Sardaukar troops. The Guild Navigator commands the Emperor to kill Duke Leo's son Paul Atreides, because the Guild fears he may somehow threaten spice production. The execution order draws the attention of the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood, since Paul is tied to their centuries-long breeding program to produce the Kwisatz Haderach, the universe's super being. Before Paul leaves for Arrakis, he is tested by Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother Mohaim by being forced to endure excruciating pain. To Moham's surprise and visual satisfaction, he passes the test. Pardon me for mispronouncing some of these. On the industrial world of Jedi Prime, the sadistic Baron Vladimir Harkonnen tells his nephews Glossu the Beast Rabban and Fade Rautha about his plan to eliminate House Atreides by manipulating someone in the Duke's orbit to betray him. The Atreides leave their homeworld, Caladan, for Arrakis, a barren desert planet populated by gigantic sandworms. The native people of Arrakis, the Freemen, prophecy that Messiah will lead them to freedom. Duncan Idaho, one of Leo's loyalists, tells him that he suspects Dune holds vast numbers of freemen who could prove to be powerful allies. Before Leo can form an alliance with the freemen, the Harkonnens launch their attack. The Harkonnens' traitor within House Atreides, Leo's personal physician, Dr. Wellington Yu, disables critical shields, leaving the Atreides nearly defenseless. Idaho is killed, Leo is captured, and nearly all of the House Atreides is wiped out by the Harkonnens. Baron Harkonnen has Mentat Peter de Vries killed Dr. Yu with a poisoned blade. Leo dies in a failed attempt to assassinate the Baron Harkonnen using a poison gas tooth implanted by Dr. Yu in exchange for sparing the lives of Lady Jessica, Leo's concubine, and Paul. Paul and Jessica survive the attack and escape into the deep desert, where they are given sanctuary by a siege of freemen. Paul assumes the freeman name Muad'Dib and emerges as the leader for whom the freemen have been waiting. He teaches them to build and use weirding modules, sonic weapons developed by House Atreides, and target spice mining. Over the next 2 years, spice production is nearly halted. The Spacing Guild informs the Emperor of the deteriorating situation on Arrakis and demands he rectify it. Paul falls in love with Chani, a young freeman warrior. Jessica becomes the freeman's reverend mother by ingesting the water of life, a deadly poison which she renders harmless by using her Bene Gesserit abilities. As an after effect of this ritual, Jessica's unborn child Aaliyah later emerges from the womb with the full powers of an adult Bene Gesserit reverend mother. In a prophetic dream, Paul learns of the plot by the Emperor and the Guild to kill him. He also sees that they fear he will consume the water of life. When Paul's dreams suddenly stop, he drinks the water of life and has a profound psychedelic trip in the desert. He gains powerful psychic powers and the ability to control the sandworms, which he realizes are the spice's source. Now for the ending. You know the procedure as always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, continue on. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. The Emperor amasses a huge invasion fleet above Arrakis to wipe out the Fremen and regain control of the planet. He has Rabban beheaded and summons Baron Harkonnen to explain why spice mining has stopped. Paul launches a final attack against the Harkonnens and the Emperor's Sardaukar at Arrakeen, the capital city. Riding atop sandworms and brandishing sonic weapons, Paul's Fremen warriors easily defeat the Emperor's legions. Paul's sister Alia mortally wounds Baron Harkonnen, who is sucked through a breached palace and palace wall, and into the mouth of a sandworm. Paul confronts the defeated Emperor and fights Ratha in a duel to the death. After killing Fade, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that name, my bad. Paul demonstrates his newfound powers and fulfills the Freeman prophecy by causing rain to fall on Arrakis, and Alia declares him to be the Kwisatz Haderach. End of story, my friends. That was kind of a tough one right there to pronounce a lot of those names, huh, folks? So, what did I think of Dune? I'm gonna say I like it, although I've only seen it a few times. I wish I'd be watching it more times. Now, anyway, I like it for what it is. It's really fun. It's action packed. I kind of got introduced to it after hearing a couple of these. There was 2 books and recordings that Kid Stuff put out, and that was really cool. You can probably, I think you can find both of those on YouTube. and what have you. Let's see. There would also be some other things. LJN, you know them, and what have you. Well, still before they made crummy video games, they made action figures for Dune. And in 2019, when the film celebrated its anniversary, 30, it's 35th to be exact, which I failed to do the review of. I should have done this a couple years back and didn't do it. They started a Dune classic line of pop vinyl figures. First of which would be Paul in a still suit and Feyd in a blue jumpsuit styled after the 1984 film, which that's really something. There's also games like a board game from Parker Brothers, a collectible card game in 1997, and role-playing games, and so on. And there was even computer games as well, and a comic series as well. An adaptation of the movie, which was written by Ralph Macchio. That's right, you heard me correctly. But not Don't let that name fool you. Not the Cry Kid. I'm getting myself mixed up. He's no relation to the Karate Kid himself, though. He's actually a comic book editor and writer. This is a different Ralph Macchio. Um, who's commonly associated with Daredevil, Spider-Man line of comics, and the Ultimate Marvel line. But despite he's not related to the actual Karate Kid star, he is nicknamed Karate Kid after the actor's famous role. However, which that's really something. Boy, I almost got a little carried away with after seeing that. My apologies. Anyway, the film unfortunately was a major dud at the box office, as the film only managed to bring in again about 30 million at the box office. And it opened in second place when it opened, losing to Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, everybody was hard on this and what have you. But I can understand why everyone was hard on this originally, because critics were hard on with the screenwriting, the lack of faithfulness to the source material, which I haven't read Dune, but well, I do think this film's pretty cool actually. The pacing, direction, editing, and what have you, but they were praised. Now, other things that were praised were visual effects, the musical score, acting, and action sequences. Now, I can buy that. Well, the story isn't that bad and what have you. I can understand why it wasn't well received. The direction of David Lynch was reasonable and what have you. But the music for this was done by the band Toto, which you know them best from songs like their songs Hold the Line, Rosanna, and Africa. While the Dune Prophecy theme was done by Brian Eno. And I have to give those people credit. They were really good. Now, as for the performances we had in this, these were all done. We have Kyle McLachlan in his film debut as Paul Atreides. He was absolutely really good. We have Francesca Annis as Lady Jessica, Paul's mother. Let's see. Leonardo Samio plays the Baron's doctor. Brad Dourif, long before he still a little bit of ways before he voiced a certain Chucky in the Child's Play franchise, plays Peter De Vries. Let's see. Playing Pasha Emperor Shaddam IV is legendary actor Jose Ferrer. Let's see. Linda Hunt plays the Shadow Mapes, the Freeman housekeeper at the Atreides Arrakis Palace. Let's see. We have Freddie Jones as Thufir Hawat, the Atreides Mentat. Let's see. Richard Jordan plays Duncan Idaho. Virginia Madsen plays Princess Arulin. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Who else is in there? Patrick Stewart, who of course would go on to play Professor X in the X-Men film franchise, and also Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek: The Next Generation and a few of the Star Trek movies. The Police frontman Sting in one of his first films as Fide. Dean Stockwell as Dr. Yue. Max von Sydow, who, of course, we know him. He passed away last year. He played Dr. Kynes. Sean Young plays Channy, who the only film I know her by was Ace Ventura, where she played Lieutenant Einhorn. I definitely gotta review that sometime down the road. And Alicia Witt, who this was one of her early film roles, and of course I've seen her in Urban Legend, and of course one of my favorite Hallmark Christmas flicks, Christmas at Cartwright. She was also in few others like A Very Merry Mix-Up, and she's been in lots of others. Oh, she was in 2 Weeks Notice with Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant. Yeah, the cast was very good, and like I said, the score is very good. I just wish the story could just been a little better, but the action, the visual sequences, and all that jazz was good. I just wish the story could just use some spin polish. But now, with the new film coming out tomorrow, we'll hope for the best that this will do well, because that film's already been getting good reviews. So in a way, I am defending Dune. So the question is, would I recommend the original Dune from 1984? I'd say yeah, give it a one time. I'd say maybe just to be on the safe side, give it a one time watch. Excuse me. Because nonetheless, despite being a big disappointment at the box office, the film would still, however, become a cult classic. So that's good to know. So, what are your thoughts on Dune from 1984? You can tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a review of the Universal Monster Classic Dracula. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, you might want to consider check out some of these other sci-fi flicks that I've reviewed. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the original Star Wars, aka Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And in the upper right-hand corner is my review of Star Trek: The Motion Picture from 1979, or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of Flash Gordon from 1980, which was also released by Universal and produced by Dino De Laurentiis Film Corporation. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. And don't forget to check out the Dune remake in theaters and on HBO Max right now. And again, you'll get a review of that this weekend. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.